Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, with the grace, the mercy and the love and permission biiznillah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we continue our da'wah from Khalifa Education Foundation. We have more than 600 videos and we want to train you to become life coach so that you can do da'wah and have this a modern approach of understanding Islamic motivation, coaching, mentoring, counseling and Islamic heart of love so that you can be a certified life coach and help the ummah. Alright, I've given you the idea of the transformation that is needed, and I've given you some idea how from the perspective of the revealed world, the understanding from F.E.T.A, feelings, action, thoughts, feeling, emotion, thoughts and action, F.E.T.A, alright, how this come from a higher realm, and then how T.F.A, thoughts, emotion, feelings and action based on the lower realm. Alright, these are the negative, these are the positive. Alright, and how in our life, every one of our position is our choice that is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decide to do good and become successful, or to do evil and become negative. I've given you the idea. And how our interaction at the F.E.T.A cycle, that is feelings, emotion and thoughts from the higher realm, whether it is firasat, whether it is ilham, whether it is basirah, whether it is the coming from the realm of Allah, from the realm of the angels, we are interlinked with the realm of the roh, the heart, the qalb and the mind, the akal. That means we are linked with the akal al-juzi and akal al-kulli. Alright, so all these are linked together and linked together with our jasad as we live on this earth. That means we are living both in the physical and spiritual realm as we live on this earth, and our nafs will then, the interplay of the nafs, whether will go up towards positive at F.E.T.A or negative at T.F.A. I've given you the idea before that, and I've given you our positive Islamic psychology model that you can go and study from our positive Islamic psychology handbook. This is a very powerful model, the first model in the world on positive psychology that interacts spirituality. That means our full range of human capability in terms of our physical body and our spirituality, both existing in the physical world and the spiritual world, and our input that we get from the physical environment, social, inter, and then our inner speech. How it color our perception and how we can achieve success or we meet failure. So I've given you how the TEF cycle in terms of our thoughts. This is neutral, alright, at two levels. At a high level, this integrated the roh, qalb and akal, we have our F.E.T, our feelings, emotion and thoughts. And at our TF cycle, they also will interact our thoughts, emotion and feelings. So this cause the action of the lower nerves, this cause the action of the higher nerves. Alright, I've given you this idea, and let's begin to understand this further, how we want to then generate our life at a higher level that leads to love, peace, happiness and success. So we have the hierarchy of nerves, which you study in Islamic tasawwuf. They have given you the understanding. So I'm integrating the TF and FEF. So TF at the lower level, it will be nafsul ammara bisuk, or nafsul shahwaniyah and nafsul haywaniyah. So this is the secular atheistic materialism that we are living now. Because what are we selling to the world? We are selling pornography. What is pornography? Sex. So this sex could be just like the sex of the dogs, the monkeys, the cat. We sell human sex. We sell human sexual organs through pornography. We sell abnormal sex. So that becomes passion. That passion grows and we get excited. And we get excited at what level? We get excited at the haywaniyah, because just like the pigs and the dogs and the cats and the monkeys and all mammals, so they have sex. Alright, but this nafs shahwaniyah and haywaniyah is a lower form of our existence. Is just based on passion. So this is where the evil thoughts, the shahwaniyah thoughts, affects your emotions. You get emotional and then you get the feelings of joy at the lower level, and then you do the act, whether it is sex or whether it is food. We see wonderful food, alright, we want to have more food and more food. That's why now more people are dying overeating. They eat, for example, chocolate cake, tomorrow another kind of chocolate cake, walnut cake, whatever cake, and then they kill themselves. Alright, so this is where this TF cycle is always at the nafsul ammara bisu, at the nafsul shahwaniyah and haywaniyah. But if you want to transcend that and want to have love, peace, happiness and success for ourselves, our family, this society, this universe, we then must move. So we must have at the higher level, nafsul lawama, where we begin to understand the ilmul yaqeen. We must then have the knowledge of what? Knowledge of our existence. We must have knowledge of the belief in Allah, God, the creator, the essential being that created this universe. He put us into being. So why He put into being? Then we have this framework of Islamic Sharia, Islamic Tasawwuf, and Islamic Kalam, and so on. So many of the knowledge that we learn. So then we have this ilmul yaqeen. This ilm bring us to the understanding that we are a creature created by Allah as His servant, as His slave, as His Khalifah, His vicegerent on this earth. And how are we going to exercise our vicegerency? By have this knowledge of Ainul Yaqeen. This is where we move from Nafsul Lawamah to Nafsul Mutmainnah. Once we have moved to the higher level of our feelings, emotional thoughts, this interaction from the rim of the Ruh, the rim of the Qalb, the rim of the Akal, both Akal al-Juzi and Akal al-Kulli, we then reach another level called Haqqul Yaqeen. This is where our metaphysician has explained this as Nafsul Radiyah, Mardiyah, and at highest level Kamaliyah. Some just use Amarah, Lawamah, and Mutmainnah. But the highest level of Tasawwuf will be all these three levels. So these are the levels of the Waliullah, all those who are graced by Allah with His nur, with His light, and he lives in constant contact with Allah. Because Allah tells us, when you question is, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيب, say that I am near. So people at the Haqqul Yaqeen, they are very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Their reality is experiential. They taste the experience of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and their belief is not going down much. There is another level, that means they can be at Radiyah, Mardiyah, Kamaliyah, or they can go down, up and down a little bit, but they will not go down here, inshallah, because basically they have transcend the Ainul Yaqeen. So Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen, these are basic understanding within the framework of Tasawwuf, and this is real. That means your belief is not just based on just like this belief system. Okay, we believe, okay, we have good food, we taste the good food, you say, wow, this is nice. Or we buy a good house, we have many rooms, and we say, wow, it's a nice bungalow, and we feel we have a swimming pool, or we have a private jet, you fly in that jet. All right, but those are the lower nafs. But at the higher nafs, it is based on ilm, knowledge first. All right, then you begin within you to have this dialogue, this dichotomy, whether you want to proceed upward or regress downward. Because the pull of the dunya is to bring you down. That's why this dunya is called the lower plane, the lower worlds. This is the higher worlds. The higher world leads you to Allah, leads you to love, where Allah tells us, those who believe, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبٌّ لِلَّهِ. When you have the fullness of belief, you have the love of Allah, intense love of Allah. The feelings is what? Feelings. Alright, so the feelings, your emotion is intense closeness to Allah, and your thoughts is zikrullah and the remembrance of Allah. And when that happens, you progress upward, and with the gift and the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you reach the highest level of Al-Insanul Kamil. That's what it's called, Kamila, Al-Insanul Kamil. But we are ordinary beings, at least we must move from this level to this level. So inshallah, whatever that we try, if Allah grace us with the fullness of Iman, Islam and Ihsan, the fullness of our striving to reach the best that we can, Allah will grace us with the fullness of His gift, and that will bring us closer to Allah. Always striving to know that we are the servant of Allah, His Khalifah on this earth, striving to make ourselves good, helping others to be good, and making the world good, inshallah.